Welcome back, guys, to an episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm still Kate.
And we are joined again by Becky. As promised, here is part 2. But before we begin, does anyone have anything upcoming the next week or so they want to talk about?
I'm going to be on vacation.
Oh, my goodness.
So you may see an upcoming episode about how to manage while on vacation. And I don't know yet.
Who knows?
We'll tell you by microphone.
There goes the mic again.
Maybe an on-the-road episode.
Maybe. Who knows? We're discussing it on the fly.
We're trying to
live
figure out.
in real time.
Like your microphone.
All right. So who knows? Stay tuned. There might be an episode on the 19th. There might not. Who knows? But I have the next upcoming pop pub for the SPCA is, well, when this comes out, it'll be that Sunday on the 16th. We're going to be at Wasted Day this time around, which is uptown on Water Street for anyone that has never been. It's a great spot. I think
It's beautiful.
Were you there last night or this weekend, weren't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I went on Friday night. I went to go see Hammond River Collective.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
They're excellent. It's the first time I've ever seen them live. They're
Nice.
amazing.
They're really great. They're a great band and a lot of Big Tide regulars.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. I looked at them. I was like, oh, I know. I think 4 out of the 5 of those people.
Yes, they are. Yeah, no, it's a great venue for music too. So I definitely, if you guys have never checked it out, anyone that's listening, watching, highly recommend checking out Wasted Day. And
They also do
seeing what
comedy
their stuff-
events as
they do,
well.
yeah.
They have jazz nights too.
Yeah, they do lots of cool stuff.
yeah, for sure. But let's get into it. So when we last laughed, listen, I can't talk. We were just getting into your fitness journey and your alternative fitness stuff because you said that you were not able to really do classical.
Yeah,
Traditional.
Traditional, yeah. I find it really boring.
Yeah,
Really boring.
I definitely get in spurts of like finding it boring, but overall I find like lifting weights actually almost like therapeutic at times. But yeah, so you do let's talk about rock climbing first. So you haven't been rock climbing in a little while, you said.
Yeah. I had some problems with my rotator cuff in November, so I had to stop everything for a couple of months. But I went back in January, February rock climbing, and it was just
So tell us about how you got into rock climbing. When did you get into it and how did that all come to be?
I started in April of 2021. I had made some major life changes at the end of 2020. I mean, everyone made major life changes in 2020, but I, was on that train as well. I made some really big life changes for myself, and part of it was trying to find something that was exercise without feeling like exercise, because I just needed to be realistic with myself, and signing up for a traditional gym was basically just money to them. I'm their favorite kind of person. I sign up for the gym and give them money and literally never go. But I was friends with someone and seeing someone who said, I'm very invested in rock climbing and I think that you would really enjoy it. And we had customers years ago that would always come in after they would go bouldering, and they always wanted me to go, but I was always afraid. I was terrified that I was going to make an idiot of myself in front of these people that I really didn't know. And I never went. But in 2021, it was, it's time to start something new. I may as well try this. If I don't like it, I don't have to go back. I'm an adult. I can make that decision for myself. No one's making me do this. So I went and I really liked it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Can you tell me the difference between bouldering and rock climbing?
I mean, sort of. I mean, they all kind of fall under the big umbrella of rock climbing, but bouldering is mostly you can do outdoor bouldering as well, but the bouldering that I do is inside. There are no harnesses, and the walls, I believe, are 12 feet.
Oof.
Maybe. I don't actually know how tall they are. That's not a question to ask me. I'm really bad with height. But you with the gym here, with the routes, you follow the colors, you get to the top of the route. The last hold is the end of the route, and then you come back down. They do have other forms of climbing indoors where it's auto belays, so you can wear ropes and you can wear harnesses, and you are attached to basically like what is the word I'm looking for?
Like a
A belay?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Obviously, obviously a belay. Thank
Belay
you.
on, belay off.
Yeah, so thank you. That should have been, I was just missing the word there. Duh. So you go up the wall, you're in a harness, you're in a rope, you come back down. But then there's outdoor bouldering and climbing as well, which I have not dabbled in.
Okay. And where was it that you went for the bouldering?
Fit Rocks.
Fit Rocks
Yeah.
on Ross Avenue.
I think it's on Ashburn Lake Road.
Just behind Ross Avenue.
Just behind Ross Avenue, yeah.
And not to be, and then when you had to stop for your for your soldier shoulder, you really did not have to go far.
No,
for
I didn't.
Your next endeavor.
I did not, because my next endeavor was literally right around the corner, on Ross Avenue, which is Twisted Fitness. I think they opened in December of 2022, maybe January. Don't quite remember when they opened, but
with an amazing coach who owns it. And I'll give a little personal shout out to Amy Briggs, who was my coach at Port City Fitness, which is where I found my original fitness journey to be really helpful and amazing. And she was part of that team of Vicky and Robin and Amy to really literally change my life in between 2018 and 2020. And then Amy has this new endeavor, pole fitness, which is something that maybe when I lose another 100 to 200 pounds, I will consider, but not right now. I don't want to rely on any ceiling or pole situation to hold all of this up.
But you know what, Caitlin? You can go in. You don't have to lift yourself. Even just spinning around, trying to get one foot up, back down on the ground is going to be beneficial. Yeah. One of the instructors found spin pole as a way to try and get her weight. And that's what she said. I've been battling with diet and exercise my whole life. And then I found this as a way to try and relieve stress. And then I lost the weight with it.
Right. Yeah, it's at some point I'll try, but right now I am pretty committed to Afterburn, which I am still looking for that sponsorship deal. That's you, Afterburn.
One of these days.
Anybody wants to give me a sponsorship deal.
Right.
And really that just entails a free gym membership.
It's not that hard.
It's really not hard to get a sponsorship. We'll put your logo up. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's called pole exercise. What is it actually called?
I call it pole fitness.
Pole fitness.
And a lot of the time the tags on social media are pole fitness.
Okay.
You can have pardon me, exotic dance or pole dance. That's also acceptable, but most people call it pole fitness.
All right. And like, so it looks pretty intense. Like I've seen some of the videos and it looks like super intense, like crazy, like full body exercise.
It feels that way a lot of the time, especially in the choreography classes. We do a 1 minute routine to a song that Olivia picks on Friday nights. And they can be quite challenging for someone who does not have any dance experience. So I find them really hard on my back. No, I'm just really old compared to most of the girls in the class. Like there's a couple girls that are right around the same age. And sometimes we just sit in the back and we're too old. Why are we here? But it is so much fun. It really is a blast.
Yeah. And I think based from what we've like told us before, it's not just like helping with your fitness. It kind of helps you feel better about yourself as well.
It is. It really is helping. I have been not accused, but I have been told by some partners in the past that I am not very feminine and I move like a brick. So this class has really helped me to loosen up and to feel more confident in my body and to feel more okay with being feminine, with being sexy and wearing things that I wouldn't ordinarily wear.
Yeah.
So it has really boosted my confidence.
Speaking of things that you wear, Amy Briggs at the pole fitness, oh my gosh, Twisted Fitness. I just saw on Facebook has a new line of apparel.
Yes, she does. We actually on Friday this week in choreography, we did a dance to Thong Song, which was amazing. But a lot of the girls who had our Amy shorts wore them and they look amazing. Like they look incredible and they fit really well. So Amy is awesome. She's an amazing coach. She's an amazing sewer. She's an amazing just person in general. So if you want to have some hot shorts, you should go check out her apparel line.
Yeah, sure. And that's where is that all on the Twisted Fitness like website, Facebook?
You can find it. You can find it on there. I actually don't know about Facebook because I have Facebook.
It is on
Okay.
Facebook. I saw it there today. And there's a name of the apparel company, and I cannot remember that name. I just saw it this morning.
Beck's
But you
about
can
to
find
look
it
up.
through
About to look-
Twitness.
It's called Kinetic Pole Apparel. I just wanted to
Kinetic
make sure
Pole
it was
Apparel?
correct. Yep. You can find it on Instagram for sure. They will probably have links to it in their Instagram with Twisted Fitness as well, I would imagine. Or really, any of the girls that go there would gladly tell you where to get their shorts from. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely check that out if you're interested for sure. It definitely is an interesting difference in attempting to like do fitness in a different way, and it seems very, very exciting.
it
very fun.
really is. And like when you start, the first thing that Amy says is record yourself. You're going to feel stupid when you look back and you watch these videos, and you feel really awkward, but you're never going to be as new as you are now. And it's a really great way to look back and see how much progress you actually have made. Because it's astounding, especially when you're like me. Like I said, I'm a potato, basically. My body moves in one piece always. So pole dancing didn't seem like it was ever possible for me. And here we are 20 weeks later, and I can actually, move my hips in one direction and my shoulders stay in one spot. So it's incredible. So even if you feel silly when you're recording yourself doing it, even if you don't post it, just keep it for yourself to see your own progress.
Yeah, seeing your own progress is pretty important. We've talked about it before. Like you see yourself every single day, so you never really notice like the changes that you are making, good or bad. So that's definitely seeing progress and like having some sort of video or even pictures of just your progress is sometimes very helpful.
It is extremely helpful. It is super helpful because I mean, everybody has days where they go into a studio or they go into a gym and they're like, I suck.
It's
like
true.
this is not a good day for me. I am not good at this, and this is making me feel bad when it ordinarily makes me feel good.
And there's like a misnomer out there where people will say there's no such thing as bad workout. And that is true because at least you've done it and you've accomplished something, and there's something to be said for that. And oftentimes, and the majority of time, even the endorphins still get released and you do feel better at the end of it. But there have been a couple of workouts in my life where none of those things happened, where I've literally ended the workout in tears, and not because of anything anyone else has done, entirely an internal feeling. And I'm like, I don't feel better having done this in this moment, although overall I feel better having done it. But there have been a couple of workouts, and often for me, it's when I've taken a little break for good reasons, or I've outdone myself doing something else, like even after our beer run.
Oh.
That was followed by another thing. Oh, it was the cruise ship tour. In really quick succession, me standing up that long is really hard on my back and my knees. And so when I go to work out after that, I feel like my mobility. And then in my mind, I'm like, well, I might as well have not ever done anything because I feel as bad as I did when I started, if not worse. And I've made no progress, and life is terrible. And why am I even here? You're an idiot, Caitlin. And then I do feel better once I've moved often. And like you, Becky, I do not like a traditional gym workout because, and not for like I'm alone with my thoughts, that's fine. I'm just lazy. So, but I'm also competitive. So when I'm in a class environment, well, I want to do all the workouts and I want to do them as well as I can. And I've had to coach myself. Actually, my body has told me what I'm capable of doing and what I'm not doing. So I've been good at like being fine with modifications and stuff. But me 10 years ago, I would have gone hard and injured myself just trying to keep up with the person who literally has worked out every day for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But there is that mentality there where even like walking, if I walked as fast as my mind wanted to walk, nobody would ever catch me, but I physically can't.
Right.
And so I kind of lumber along. But it's a weird dichotomy. I went on a bit of a tirade there. But my point is that you don't always feel good when you work out. And that is a misnomer out there, that you always feel good. And often you do, but not always. And it's okay. It's all okay as part of a journey.
Yeah.
Now, we talked a little bit in the past episode about how people treat you based on the way you look, and and Isaiah and I have talked a lot about how people treat us based on the way we look. And there comes a point where there is something to be said, and Becky and I are great friends and we talk pretty frequently, and she even sends me videos of her pole dancing, which is really cool. And I was like, she's the best. But we have talked about how there are many similarities with how you feel, the feelings that happen when people comment on your body. And it is something to be said for, because in my mind, I'm always like, oh, I don't wish anymore. I just am on my own journey. And I really did shed that 20 years ago that I wish I had her problem. But it is astounding to realize how similar it is. And what people have said to you, you said earlier that, people just assume you're on crack.
Yeah.
Or meth, or know where to find drugs.
Or have an eating disorder. That's another really big one, is they just assume
Right. Whereas I am afraid, I hate eating in public. I mean, I do. I go to Big Tide frequently enough that I've gotten over that.
It doesn't really count as public anymore.
It feels like home.
Feels like home.
But
it's a second home.
But even I hate running into somebody if I succumb to fast food craving, because I know that people look at me going through a drive-through going, oh, like she needs that.
Honestly, I feel the same way, because my car is pretty distinct and I'm like, everybody. I feel like everybody's judging me every Friday after choreography when I go and get French fries. Like, I am positive that woman knows my habits now. Every Friday when I drive there, she's like, here's your French fries.
Yeah. Are you still on the Burger King matzo sticks?
No, I stopped doing that because they hurt my stomach way too much. It was worth it for the month that I was on that dopamine food, but oh my God, no.
But overall in society, I would posit that there is much more acceptance of your body type than there is mine.
Yes, there is. Because like you have said before in the past, a lot of people will look at you and say, oh, you're, when that is not the case. I know that neither of you are lazy, but they'll look at me and they don't have the same, you're lazy, but they have totally different viewpoints.
Right. There's like a combination of, wow, she looks amazing, to, oh, she's too skinny, to, and to have the audacity to say something to someone is just beyond me. And people have said stuff to me in the past, particularly online, not as much in person.
That's because online, there's like a veil there.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not a real person when you're online. You can get away with saying basically anything. Well, get away, air quotes, with saying basically anything you want online. A lot of people I find have a lot more confidence saying things online than they do in person.
Yeah,
but there's the subtle things that people say in person. And I've talked about this before, and I've talked about this with you, where they're like, if you do anything athletic, when your mind says like, oh, good for you. And I'm like, well, it's good for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It would be good for you too.
Yes, I went for a walk and I struggled with it. Isn't it good?
Congratulations.
I had to take several breaks.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. Yeah, it's one thing to like for someone that to say that, and then it's another thing for just a random person to come up to you and just be like,
right,
good for you.
Well, somebody who knows me knows that it's been a struggle. Or if you're a fan of the podcast, totally acceptable at this point, because it is good for me.
Yeah,
but you have to lead with that.
Yeah,
you can't just be a random person walking up and being like, oh, you're too thin, or oh, good for you. You have to say, hey, I've been following your progress and I like what you've been doing. Or, hey, I think what you're doing is great. Good for you.
Yeah.
Not like that person. Whatever. It no big deal. We're going to let that go. We're not going to.
Yeah. Believe me, because I know people have good intentions, and I know when people talk to you, they have good intentions.
Yes. But
because you said to me one time, I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, because with all the rock climbing and all of the pole, you were jacked. And you made a comment to me, and it really stuck with me, because I've actually intentionally not complimented you on that, because you said you hated having attention drawn to it. And I'm sorry for doing it now in a very public way, but we're here.
Well, but here we are now. But those are points in time in my life where I'm very low mentally, and I just feel like nothing is right. And like when people make comments about that stuff when you are low, it just hurts.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I know that, again, like you said, it always comes from a place of, I mean that very well, but you never know how your comments are going to land with someone, because you never know what they're struggling with. Because like, I do have big arms and I do have big shoulders, But when I feel awful and when someone says to me, oh, they look really good, I'm like, stop looking at me.
Yeah.
Why are you even looking at me to begin with? I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want anyone to comment on me. But it's just about, what's going on up here.
Yeah.
Now, would it bother you the same way if they're like, oh my God, how do you balance 20 full glasses of beer on a tray?
No, because that's just how
Right.
that's just how I work.
It's a different type of compliment. It's not like a directive.
Because I don't want anybody to feel like they can't compliment somebody, because you can. You can absolutely still throw out compliments. It's just when comments are, and you kind of build up. I know I built up a shield. It's called fat. No, I build up a shield to
comedy.
these. Both things are true. If you find me funny. I actually had a therapist say to me once, I made some offhanded joke. He said, I'd love to share a laugh with you someday, Caitlin, but not while you're clearly in pain. And I was like,
yeah.
Cool.
Why would you say that?
That's all I know how to do.
This is the shield of all people
Yeah.
that have issues.
The biggest thing a couple months ago, I had someone come in, just a random stranger, and they sat down at the bar and they said, can I pay you a compliment? That was the best
That is a good way to do
introduction to start, because if I were not in a mood, I could have just said no. And that would have been that. So if you're going to pay someone a compliment that you don't know, just ask first.
I'd be curious to say no.
Yeah. Can I pay you a compliment? Because in some places, you're not in the right headspace, or you look at someone and say, I just don't want any human interaction. No, go away. I shouldn't say that because I'm a server and I work with people 6 days a week, but sometimes you just don't want interactions from them. No.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know what the compliment is going to be. Yeah. So it could be anything.
And your mental health is always it has a lot to do with your physical health too, and they kind of go hand in hand a lot of times.
They really do.
So it's definitely.
Now, what was the compliment? I'm dying to know.
Oh, it was just about my shoulders.
Oh yeah,
it was the same thing. You have amazing shoulders. How did you get your
right?
Well, lots of depression and lots of pole dancing.
Lots of depression.
They go right hand in hand. So,
and I mean, when you say you don't want human interaction, there's a certain amount of human interaction with your job. Like, you have to be friendly. Empty. How are you? What do you want to eat?
Well, at Big Time, do you have to be friendly to people?
I mean, for the first month, I feel like you do.
Yeah, and then after that, the veil can come down, and you can be like the rest of us, where we have such little patience. I'm totally joking, by the way, when I say this. I mean, most of the time we'll be nice to you. Most of the time,
that customer service. Listen, if you've never worked customer service before, you don't fully understand that. People just sometimes it's like you're working and you're just like, I don't want anyone to walk in this door today.
Yeah.
I just want to be left alone. I'm going to do the cleaning and crap that I need to do. But other than that, you can kind of fuck off.
Yeah. There are some days where social interaction is really hard, especially when you have to interact with people. It's difficult.
It is. And you don't realize it. Like, I worked customer service in a job for about 8 years, and I am friendly, and I generally like people, but there are times, and it's not, you understand the business, because there's some people who would hear that and be like, what do you mean they don't want my business? They should want to see me. And they do.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. There's just a mental thing for an individual. Sometimes it's only for 10 minutes where you're trying to get something done, or you like a little bit of cleaning that's going to involve you being down on your hands and knees. And plus you really want them to do the cleaning.
I do. I really want them to do the cleaning.
Right. And so anybody who hears this thinking, oh no, Becky doesn't like me. That is not true.
That is absolutely not true.
Unless your name is, no, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Unless your name is Chris.
No.
Hey.
Hi, boss.
He puts metal. Yeah, exactly. He puts metal chickens in my yard. So
yeah, that's adorable.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know, Chris is Becky's boss and uncle.
Yep.
Or boss uncle.
Yeah, my boss. Yeah, my boss uncle. So.
And one day she sent some snaps around of these chickens, these metal decorative chickens that appeared in her yard, just randomly. Just, oh my God, somebody put chickens over here, and I wonder who did this. I saw it and I was like, well, that was obviously Chris.
Who else could it
be? That is obviously a Chris move. But she went on and on and on and was like, you know, these chickens, I don't know where they would have come from. Could have they been this person? And in my head, I'm going, no, Becky, think.
Andrea was very
Chris.
upset that she didn't think of it first.
Wow.
She
Well,
was
maybe
like-
if Andrea is lucky when the chickens come back to Costco, maybe. Maybe if you're lucky.
I wouldn't do that.
Why?
We'll
Just
talk
too many
about it.
bucks.
Yeah. Ah. That was good.
Oh dear.
And on that note,
Yes. On that note, I think are we good to wrap up? I think
Yeah, I
we
think
might
we
be good.
Becky, where can people find you on social media, or do you want to be found on social media?
Well, I mean, you can come watch me pole dance on my Instagram because that's the only I have. It's Becky Frawley, Frauley. We don't associate with those W Frawleys.
No, they're the winners.
I'm totally joking, by the way. All Frawleys are amazing.
It's true.
And you can also follow the Pole Fitness.
Yes, follow Pole Fitness, Twisted Fitness. They have Facebook, they have Instagram, Kinetic Pole Wear. I believe they're on Facebook. They are on Instagram as well. Fit Rocks as well. Follow them too. They're amazing on Instagram. And
don't forget about Old Afterburn.
An old afterburn. And Caitlin, where can people find you?
People can find me at Kated or Kated on Instagram, Caitlin Dean on Facebook, Kate and Isaiah Living Large also on Facebook, and at the Caitlin Dean on Twitter. I hardly post on most of these applications, but you can find me there and I will interact with you.
And of course, you can find me at Maritime Brews everywhere you want on social media. Apparently, Twitter's limiting you to like 600 views or something now. So that's a whole thing. But you can find me everywhere, as well as you can find us if you're just listening on, Spotify or something. You can find us on YouTube. And if you want, please give it a like, comment, a share, and subscribe so you get that notification that we posted a new one. But other than that, I thank you all for listening again this week, and thanks for stopping by for part 2. And have a great week. Bye.
Bye.